So I'm going to pull just something in here. I'm going to pull this in here and then I'm going to rasp. And so it pulls it in as a smart object. And I've never tried it this way, but so let's just try it because it made a smart object. I'm always leery of it when it does that. So I'm going to go edit, distort, oops, edit, transform, distort. I'm not going to go through the whole process. I'm just going to do a little bit. Okay, so in theory, it's already made it that's weird. Won't even let go of it. Weird. I don't know why it's not letting go of that, which is really odd, but okay, let's go. I'm going to double click this and just see what happens. I'm going to save this. I'm just going to save it. Desktop. Let's see if it lets me. I got to save it. And this is what you guys got, right?
Yep, that's the exact thing.
Did you pull it in? Did you pull it in from the desktop?
No.
Because I have a feeling that this, let me see.
I pulled it in from the from file like you did.
But did you drag it in?
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems to me like, let's try this. Because I think this is what happened. This is what happened to me before too. I'm going to go. Okay, so this time I'm not going to drag it in from the desktop. I'm going to open it. And I'm just going to immediately make it into a smart object. See, now it's letting go of it again. I like the way Photoshop doesn't override anything anymore, which is really annoying. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to pull another one. I'm going to double click my icon. And it worked. I think it has to, you can't drag it in and have it automatically create a smart object. And I'm just going to open this one. And let's just go, okay. So up here, because all our palettes live under this, I'm going to go actions. Okay. Let's get rid of this. And these are default actions. Okay. So you can use any of those. I never do, but that doesn't mean they're bad. But in order to do this, I need to create a folder. And now I have a folder. Okay. And then I'm going to go right here, just like your, so it looks like your layers palette. So here's my folder. I have to create a folder. And then right here is just to create a new action. Okay. So I'm going to press it. I'm going to, it's going into, it has to go into a set. So I could put it in default, which I'm not going to do, and put it in demo. You could assign a function key to this if you want. You can assign a color to it. I'm going to call it, oh, that's the thing it's going into. I'm going to call it the demo action. And then right here, it has record. Okay, so I'm just going to go, let's just do this. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go. I'm going to just create a little look for this. Let's just do that. Let's take another one. Let's go. Just do the warm, cool thing. Let's try that. Now I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to go back to my actions. I'm going to go stop. And it captured all these things here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now let's go to this one. And let's go. So I hit demo. I'm going to hit play. And it creates the same thing on the next one. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do here is called a displacement map. Okay. So let me make sure I got the right. Now here's how I do it. Okay. You'll see a lot of things. I've seen a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's ways you can do this where you're sort of doing it all from within the original file and then generating another file. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's a little complicated. I don't really see the point in it. So what I usually do is I will go, let's call this. You can rename it, right? Here it is. This is called that for clarity. And then I'm going to make a copy of this, which is, oh shit. You know. So here's my copy. I'm going to open this up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into just black and white. A lot of ways you can do that, and I just do it that way. Now, it's got quite a bit of contrast in it. If it didn't, I'd probably go to my levels and pump the contrast a hair. Another thing it's good to do is go to blur, Gaussian blur, and just give it a 1-point blur. just smooths it out. It likes that better for whatever reason. I'm going to say, okay. Wait a minute. Oh. I need to make this a PSD file. So now I'm going to call it displacement. Make sure I'm in the right. Yeah. I'm going to make sure that went in the right folder. Hang on. I got so many folders going on. Okay, so it's in test. Okay. And then I'm going to open up the original image, which has the color information. There's not a color in this. And I'm going to go. I haven't done this in a while, so hopefully I don't screw it up. Let me get a little mid-tony here. Now, this text either has to be rasterized or a smart object. So I'm going to make it a smart object since we just did that. I'm going to save this. Let's do that. Now I'm going to go back to my layer. I'm going to go up here to filter, distort, displace. And these settings are usually fine. You can fiddle with them if you want. All this information is fine. And I'm going to say okay. And then what it's going to do is go, okay, where's my map? And that's this right here, the file I just created. And you can see it sort of wraps around that fabric. You can dial in the 10 where it says 10, 10, knock it down, add it in a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then, you know, I could find the right overlay. And I could probably, another thing I do sometimes, I mean, you can dial it in on the, oh, that's kind of interesting. You can dial it in on the, you know, how much of this you get. It's getting a little bit weird right there and right there. So I might go in and dial it in a little better. Let's see if once in a while to save time, I'll go in here and just go see if it'll let me do it. It's a smart object, so yeah, it won't let me do it. Or yeah, sometimes I'll go in, I'll rasterize it or whatever, and I'll go in. Let's just rasterize it. Let's go rasterize it, and then I'm going to go. And I could, if I wanted to heighten it, I could like go in. I mean, it's got quite a bit going on there now. I could come in here with my, oops. I don't know why this is backwards. My thing is backwards. That should actually be the dodge tool, but let's try the burn tool. Yeah, and I can heighten that light a little bit by dodging and burning a little bit if I wanted to do that. And push it a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, everybody, I'm letting you go except Arlene, hang out. Yeah?